Welcome to the Tyndale Show, episode number 6. And today I'm with Jan Lonsdale, our Director of Counselling here at Tyndale, and we are in the Aquarium. So, Jan, my first question for you is, tell us about the Aquarium. What is it?
So the Aquarium's a counselling centre. We named it the Aquarium because we tried to come up with something that didn't mean boring or benches or beds or scary stuff that people see on TV around counselling. And we wanted to create a place that was a bit chaotic and a bit colourful. And we had some animals that were living in aquariums at the time. So we called it the Aquarium, and it's just stuck.
Now, I know that you're not the only person that works here.
Yep.
I know you oversee it, so tell us a bit about your team.
Okay, so we have an amazing team of counsellors. We're all qualified. So 3 of us have our Masters in Counselling. One of them has a Bachelor of Counselling. Mm-hmm. And Chris, who's just started with us this year, is just finishing his Psychology, Bachelor of Psychology. So we've got a range of different backgrounds and skills and experience. Male and female counsellors. We're probably one of the best set up counselling teams, I think, in a school in South Australia. We certainly get plenty of visitors who tell us that. So we follow it as though it was a professional counselling practice outside of school, and we run that like that in here.
Okay. Now there's 2 key members that you haven't talked about, or you've talked about your team, and one of them is sitting on my foot at the moment.
Oh.
And I don't know whether we can bring her
Olive.
into the picture.
Olive.
But introduce us to Olive.
Okay, so there you go. She was a guide dog with Royal Society for the Blind, and so Miss Fletcher agreed to purchase her as a school therapy dog, and she's in the senior school aquarium counselling area. Every day she gets patted by literally hundreds of kids as they walk through. Kids come for counselling, they love having the therapy dog in the session with them. She helps calm people down. People come in that are anxious or having concerns, they can pat her and settle themselves down. Zena started the process many years ago. Zena's been here for 6 years. She's also a Labrador, a black Labrador. She's my dog. So she comes home with me. But she started the process, and we noticed straight away the difference in how students came in here, whether they were comfortable coming in here or not. There's no cost to the school as such. It's more about the responsibility of the 2 owners. But they have very strong training. They were trained as guide dogs, so they're very calm. They don't razz up very easily or anything like that. So yeah.
Why would a student book in or come and visit the aquarium?
If I think about the types of ways that they come to us, sometimes they come themselves, so they might have met us or heard about something in an assembly and said, I want to talk to somebody about that. Sometimes their teacher will notice a change in their behaviour in the classroom and be concerned about that and say, look, do you mind if you can see such and such, I'm concerned. Sometimes a parent will ring us up, for something like, my father has just passed away, or our pet had to be put down last night, my marriage is on the rocks, and I really want my kid to have somebody independent to speak to. And so all these different people make referrals, and then the student comes, and that's from reception right through to year 12. The other ways that kids come, I guess, is if they're a new student to the school, we give a couple of weeks for them to settle in, and then we get the student in and we talk to them about how they're going, are they making friends, how they're going with their subjects. We also see all the year 12s, and that's something we started a few years ago, and we found that really helped build relationship with the year 12s, so, say kids that we hadn't really had anything to do with.
I think it raises the question then, as a parent with a child who has visited the aquarium quite regularly, what about confidentiality?
Yeah, look, we do that exactly the same as any other agency. We explain to the student when they come in what's confidential and what's not. Everything's confidential except if you're hurting yourself or other people, or if there's any risks of that kind of thing, and that breaches it. So therefore we have to then let somebody know. So phone call to mum and dad or whoever who's looking after them. Mate, I think it's time they had a visit to a GP, had to talk about why that's happening. Let's talk about some therapy ongoing, that kind of stuff. People are often concerned about that. They think, I don't want my kid labelled, I don't want people to know. But we see it as just a proactive approach for keeping the child safe. Wellbeing
and mental health are really big topics at the moment, both in society and within education as well. Where do you guys fit into that picture, and what benefit, I guess, for a school like us to something like the aquarium and the counsellors bring to that?
I guess for us, if the student is not looked after as a whole student, they're not going to achieve at school. And I said this from the start of my counselling 12 years ago. You can be the smartest kid in the school and get straight A's, but have a breakdown in term 4 and not even get to your exams. And what good is that? Our job is to prepare. I say to my classes, I teach health, and I say to them, my job is to prepare you for the future. When you leave school, I want you to be successful out in life. How am I going to do that? I'm going to teach you about these topics because they're the things that you're going to have to deal with when you go to TAFE or uni or the workplace, like harassment, or what about sexual harassment? What is the rules about sexual harassment? Well, I'm going to teach that here because in the workplace it's really, really serious, so let's learn about it here. So it's that kind of approach.